In this video, I'm taking a look at the Apple iPad Air. This is it on the left in space gray, and on the right you see the box that it comes in. I've already unboxed this, and I have to say that this is definitely a worthy iPad upgrade, I must say. I'm pretty impressed with it so far, but let me show you the box that it comes in and everything that it comes with. You've got your plastic packaging here, also your standard iPad Air, Apple sort of quick start guide there, as well as a SIM removal tool there. And they've got a new 12-watt USB power adapter that will charge the iPad much faster. Now, this can also be used on your iPhone as well as older iPads. In addition, you can use your older iPad power adapter on the iPad Air. So if you've got a 10-watt power adapter, that also works on the iPad Air, although it won't charge it quite as fast. So the new 12-watt one is better in that it'll charge your iPad faster than before. So this is the iPad Air in space gray. I got the version with the 4G as well as the Wi-Fi. So this is a Verizon 4G version, and you can kind of see that on the back. It's got this plastic part here because you can't really have a cellular antenna, 4G LTE antenna encased in metal. So they've got the back part here encased in black plastic. Again, this is the space gray, so this black here is space gray. It's kind of a nice dark sort of bronzish charcoal gray, not really silver. And then on the front, it's black. Now, I watch a lot of videos, whether it be YouTube videos or Netflix, etc., on my iPad, and so I really like the black. I had a white iPad before, a white iPad 3, and I think the black just sort of fades in better when you're watching a movie. It just sort of disappears more. So that's the main reason why I chose the black one, although I think the white one looks pretty good too, the white and silver. It's much, much lighter than prior iPads, and also the bezels here on the left and the right when holding it in portrait mode are smaller. And actually I think that works quite well because it's closer in to your palm when you're holding it, like with one hand, like this for instance. And about a year ago or so, Apple made an enhancement to iOS such that if you have your thumb near the edge but on the screen, on the actual display part of the screen, you can still scroll with your other hand. It doesn't register this as touching the screen. So the smaller bezels on the left and the right don't really matter. In other words, it's fine to have that. And again, it makes it a lot more comfortable to hold in your hand because it's just the whole device is closer in towards your palm, so you get more leverage that way. And plus, the iPad Air is so much lighter than prior versions of the iPad anyway, and so it's really a nice design. My initial impressions of it are that it's sort of like a larger iPad mini, rather than it being, a smaller iPad, if that makes any sense. In other words, it just feels like a larger, nicer iPad mini, in my opinion. The fact that they were able to make it so light and still have the same battery life as prior versions of the full-size iPad is pretty amazing, especially considering that it also still has the Retina display as well. Now, of course, internally they've got a much faster processor in the iPad Air. They've got the A7 processor, which does make a difference, especially if you play games a lot. If you're just using it to browse the web or check email, you may not notice that much of a difference in terms of the speed increase on the A7 processor versus the older A5 processor. But if you play games and stuff, you will notice much faster load times. Everything will just seem speedier, and launching of applications is just a lot faster as well. So all in all, I have to say I'm pretty happy and impressed with the iPad Air. I think it's a worthy upgrade over prior versions of the iPad. It's definitely a lot lighter, and I like the form factor a lot better. It's just more convenient and fun to use. Now, I would say if you have an iPad 4th generation, it may not be worth upgrading for you, because it can be pretty expensive to upgrade and have to worry about selling your older one. But if you have anything prior to the iPad 4th generation, like the iPad 3 or iPad 2 or even the original iPad, it may be worth it to upgrade to the iPad Air because you will definitely notice a lot of benefit from doing so. You've got the Lightning port here as well as your speakers, and the audio quality out of the speakers seems to be improved over prior versions of the iPad, in my opinion, at least from my initial listening test. And then this is the back. You've got your camera here. It's also got a front camera as well, which you can't really see, but that's very well, but that's embedded right there. And you've got your controls right here. So everything is laid out quite nicely as you would expect. You've got your headphone jack here. Now it should be noted that the screen size is exactly the same as prior versions of the iPad. It's just the case size and the bezel size has changed, as well as the fact that it's much, much lighter. And if you're trying to decide between the iPad Air and the iPad mini, see my other video where I talk about a comparison between the two and why I chose the iPad Air. If you have any questions or comments, please feel free to leave them, and I'll see you in my next video.